if you're having a great time in the foyer. That was too quiet. I'm doing it again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Grayson Rosen. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm honored to welcome you to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. We are a humanist congregation committed to thinking deeply, taking action, and growing together. Whether you're a longtime member, a first-time visitor, or joining us online, welcome. We're glad you're here. Throughout the month of August, we're celebrating Members Speak Month, which I love. Yeah. Each Sunday this month, we'll hear from members of the Ethical Society as they share experiences, passions, and ideas that have shaped their lives and that reflect our shared humanist values. In the practice of ethical humanism, wisdom isn't confined to any one voice. We learn from one another through curiosity, reflection, conversation, and the lived experiences we each bring to this community. Members Speak Month is an invitation to listen deeply, ask thoughtful questions, and continue growing together. Today, we're also launching a new assisted listening system. If you'd like more control over your listening experience, download the free Listen Wi-Fi app, connect to our Wi-Fi, and select Auditorium. You can use Bluetooth earbuds, headphones, smart hearing aids, or other compatible listening devices. Volunteers are available at the welcome table before platform, meaning in future weeks, if you'd like help getting started. As we begin, I invite you all to pull out your devices and make sure they are silenced so that we can be fully present with one another. I'm pretty sure I did mine. Yeah. Okay, our music this morning comes from the Ethical Band. They are one of the many member-led programs that make our community so vibrant. These talented volunteers generously share their time and musicianship, reminding us that the very best parts of this community are created by the people sitting all around us. They will begin this morning with Harlem Nocturne, which is mysterious and unhurried. The piece unfolds like an evening cityscape. As you listen, allow yourself to settle into the space and enjoy the journey.
Welcome, everybody. You can applaud, it's fine. So this is, we're doing Harlem Nocturne. It is an absolute classic standard. This is inspired by our friend here, Alex. We're going to do it like a California skyline, a la sky. So, here you go. Cool.
That was awesome. Thank you all. That was a great vibe. At the heart of congregational life is relationship. Sharing our stories helps us understand one another more deeply and discover our common humanity. This morning, we have invited Ethical Society member Lyra Eschenroder to offer a personal reflection. Please welcome Lyra.
Good morning. My name is Lyra Eschenroder. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a new member and excited to be up here for the first time speaking to you all. I have lived nearly my entire life for other people. From a young age, if someone asked me something, I said yes. I was raised to put everyone else first. I learned to recognize when someone had a need. If someone merely talked about something they needed, regardless if they needed it from me, I said yes. I thought that sacrificing myself was the kindest thing I could do. I thought it made me a good person, that it made me a helpful member of my community, that it made me a loving friend and partner. However, it didn't make me any kind of person at all. It made me a resource. I was whatever anyone wanted me to be. Unbeknownst to me, because I did not know me, stress and resentment grew. Depression and anxiety fueled my desire to be a people pleaser. I feared that if I wasn't the malleable tool fixing every problem and fulfilling everyone else's needs, that I was not worth anything. I did not know why I constantly felt wrong when I was doing what I thought to be right. Yet the pain built, and I made an attempt on my life. I spent a year in recovery and therapy. I thought I was better. For 3 more years, I pretended to those around me that I was better. But it was not improvement, it was developing skills to keep up the facade I had created. I feared losing those around me. I worried that I would never be enough. I was scared that I would destroy the stability that I thought I had. Nearing my 30th birthday in December of 22, and on the verge of another attempt, I did something that shocked me. I admitted to my then wife that I was trans. I expressed a deep-seated need, a need that I had feared would push everyone away. I poured out to her something I had denied for so long. And then, we didn't talk about it for another 4 months. I was ashamed that I had said something I needed. However, it was a start. Through much strife and struggle over the following years, I slowly began to explore my own needs. I picked up my camera again, I joined a choir, and most importantly, I began to say no. I wasn't perfect at saying no, and frankly, I'm still not, but it has expanded my life in ways I didn't expect. It has brought me opportunities I had never thought possible. It has also lost me those that benefited from my actions but did not afford me the same. It has made me better able to help those around me, not because I feel obligation, but because I truly want to do it. I no longer acquiesce to everyone or work to maintain the status quo to make people comfortable. I prioritize my safety, my comfort, and my happiness first. From simply saying to a friend, "No, I don't want to go out tonight," to firmly standing up to a bully in a crowded room saying, "No, you don't control me. I found my freedom." I've learned that it is not kind or humble or generous to say yes to everything. I gave up 30 years of my life because that is what I was taught and how I lived. Today I refuse. I refuse to give up another minute to solely living for others. I know now that true happiness is giving yourself the same care you give to others. Caring for yourself gives you the opportunity to be a person. Never again will I merely be a resource for others. I will be the me that I needed all the time, or all along. Thank you.
Thank you so much for trusting us with that and sharing so vulnerably. That resonated with me so deeply too. Each week we read our youth education core values as a way to bring us together and remind us of our shared commitments. Since our youth are enjoying summer programming today, I will read our core values. Every person is important and unique, including you. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I am a part of this earth. I cherish it and all the life upon it. I learn from the world around me by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I am a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what I believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions, and I strive to live my values. These values are more than lessons for children. They are aspirations for all of us, guiding how we learn and grow together as a community. Our core values come to life through the people who live them. To recognize two members whose outstanding service has made a lasting impact, please welcome Ethical Society member and American Ethical Union President Scott Wright.
Thank you, Grayson. So I just got back after a couple travel delays from our AEU, American Ethical Union Annual Assembly, which this year occurred in New York City and celebrated our 150th anniversary as a movement. One of the traditions we have at that assembly is to recognize volunteers who have given significant contributions to the movement. Anna Garland Spencer was a social activist and feminist icon in her day. She was the first woman ordained in Rhode Island, became founder of the NAACP, a founder, promoted child labor laws, and worked for equal rights for women. She was also the first woman to become a certified ethical culture leader. Her lifelong work embodies the spirit intended by the Anna Garland Spencer Volunteer Award, which recognizes lay members of American Ethical Union affiliated ethical congregations for their significant volunteer contributions to the success of ethical congregations and therefore the success of the ethical culture movement. This year, the St. Louis Board nominated Bob and Kathy Pickard as recipients of this award. Members since 1986, I am positive that the Pickards have stepped up for this congregation in more ways than I am even aware. But here are just a few highlights. For their longtime dedication and passion in combating climate change in their work on the Climate Action Now team, for their support and advocacy for our youth programs throughout the years, for their board service, and for their guidance and wisdom navigating us through multiple leader searches and hiring committees. For these reasons and more, we honor Bob and Kathy Pickard with the Anna Garland Spencer Award. Bob and Kathy.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for your many years of dedicated service, Kathy and Bob. The Ethical Band now returns with Red Clay by Freddie Hubbard. It has changed. With Chicken from Maceo Parker. Okay, I have something to say about that over here. Made popular by. With its irresistible groove and playful spirit, it's the kind of music that reminds us not every meaningful moment has to be serious. Sometimes joy is reason enough to gather, listen, and share an experience together. That was indeed awesome. Before our main address, let's share a minute of silence. I invite you to notice your breath, settle your attention, and prepare yourself to listen to today's presentation with an open mind and an open heart. Thank you for sharing that moment together. Our speaker today is Clark Hotaling. Clark currently serves as the president of our Board of Trustees. After visiting the society for about a year, he became a member 3 years ago and has served on the platform speakers team, the executive director hiring team, the Stewardship Committee, and the Good Deeds team. He's also an active member of the Social Justice Book Club. A native of Yellow Springs, Ohio, he and his wife, Maryjane, along with their 2 young sons, relocated to the St. Louis area in 2000 to continue his 42-plus year career with Herman Miller. He's an active volunteer outside the society as well, preserving, restoring, and enhancing Greenwood Cemetery in North County, serving on Churches Together for Justice's Affordable Housing Initiative, supporting Webster Groves City Government, and teaching in a local freedom school. He enjoys reading, walking, hiking, the outdoors, and traveling. After his long career with Herman Miller, Clark decided that retirement was the beginning of a new chapter. Today, he brings that perspective to a conversation about curiosity, education, and the lifelong pursuit of growth. Please join me in welcoming Clark Hotaling.
Thank you, and welcome to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. So happy so many members, and those of you that are about to become members and visitors are here today. Lyra, we are so happy you found us and joined us in membership. Also want to thank my dear friends, Dave and Shelley and Raphael and Janelle for being here, and my wife, Maryjane, and my siblings and son, Thomas, who are watching online, and especially my son, Jackson, who is next month moving to Montana. So we're excited about your next chapter, Jackson. Good morning. My name is Clark Hotaling, and as they said, I'm a member here at the Ethical Society, serving currently as the president of the Board of Trustees. Today, I'm going to talk about lifelong learning, why it is important to me, some of the things I've learned relatively recently from my participation in our social justice book club, how it can be a path to progress and positive change, and hopefully leaving everybody with an implementable challenge. First, I want to let you know how I ended up here today. On a cold February morning at about 7 a.m., I received this email from member Cy Henningsen. Clark, August is Member Speak Month. Would you be interested in giving a platform address at one of the Sundays in August? As you will have recently become president of the Board of Trustees, The platform speaker team wonders if you would be interested in sharing with our congregation by speaking on a topic of your choosing. Thank you, sigh. I was weak. It was cold, it was dark, and it was February, and August was so far away. I quickly replied, sure. As the months rolled by and my sure turned into nervousness and anxiety, as week after week I listened to inspirational, motivational expert talk about amazing things ranging from the brain to immigration to ethical culture, right here from this podium. What was I an expert in? Office ergonomics? I wasn't interested in putting everybody to sleep, so I started thinking about what should I talk about? So quickly I thought everybody would want to hear about the ethical society, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Quickly I realized that was a very bad idea. Then I thought, how about deed before creed? That's a good ethical culture subject. Maryjane saw my bumper sticker one day and asked me what it meant. I read a couple of books by Felix Adler, and I knew the answer to that question enough to explain to Maryjane what it meant to me, but decided to leave that topic to trained, certified ethical culture leaders. And then I saw Christine Mittermeier, amazing woman, speak about climate change with the platform of hope at the St. Louis Speaker Series. What an amazing, inspirational talk she gave on the subject, and I thought hope could be a good subject. And then Samantha White, in 3 to 5 minutes, covered the topic beautifully during a recent Stories of Ourselves. Was I really going to stretch her concise, beautiful 3 to 5 minutes into 25 to 30 minutes? So I moved to courage. My family has a connection with all three of these courageous individuals. Pete Seeger, standing up to McCarthy and fighting for unions and using his music to advocate for so much good. Coretta Scott King, too often known as the wife of, and not enough for the tireless, courageous anti-war work she did in a time when most in our country favored the Vietnam War, and the strength and courage to continue after her husband was gunned down just down the river in Memphis. And Mickey Schwerner, really just a kid, courageously heading to the Deep South in Mississippi to advocate for voting rights and teaching other kids to read and write in the freedom schools of Mississippi before being tortured and murdered along with Cheney and Goodman, simply for advocating for voting rights and education of people that were intentionally denied even a basic education. I decided my family's connection to all three of these would be better received on a one-on-one conversation. So I landed on the importance of lifelong learning. A few weeks ago at Forum, we had one of those pair up, share an answer to a question, and then rotate. For the question, what would your autobiography be titled and why? The answer that popped in my head was unfinished business. And to me, that translated to lifelong learning. While history is thought to be finished business, I've come to believe that history can be one of our best teachers. In this 250th year of the United States, it's important to understand what the pursuit of happiness meant to our founders. It meant doing good, not feeling good. It was not the pursuit of material goods in the marketplace of things, but it was a lifelong learning in a marketplace of ideas. If you did that, you were constantly, in a Socratic sense, asking yourself, how do I get better? How do I have virtue? And that an educated, virtuous populace saves itself all of the time and moves forward. 15 years ago or so, I started contemplating my life and realized I was most likely finishing up chapter 2 in a 3-chapter book. I created this slide at the time to visually show me how I viewed completed chapters 1 and 2 and what I wanted chapter 3 to look like. I put these words to the chapters. Chapter 1, the sponge years of formation and development, interacting, learning, education, taker, soaker. Chapter 2 were the brick years of stability and the grind, providing, establishing, building, contributing, and planning. I wanted chapter 3 to be the concentric circle years of leaving a legacy, giving back, making a difference, perpetually full of continued growth and expansion. I realized there was intersectionality. If I redrew this today, I'd make the connections larger and more overlapping. Learning would be more prevalent in all 3 chapters, as learning is lifelong, continuous, yet voluntary, and mostly, if not always, self-motivated. And there are all kinds of profound quotes and works on the subject. Take a look. Take a look out there. There's a lot. Which brings me to Jim Rhodes' Social Justice Book Club here at the Ethical Society. Now, that's not actually a picture of Jim Rhodes, but it could be. I love this group. It's about half a dozen people. We come together every other month after reading a book to share what we learned, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we didn't understand. What an amazing way to get people to know people on a deeper level and to expand on what we know, what we didn't know before, and in many cases to inspire us to become more deeply involved with a noble cause, movement, or action. Here are the books that we've read in the past 3 years and some of what we have learned. I joined the book club after the first 2 books, so they were reading The Color of Law when I joined. And in that book, we learned about residential segregation in the United States was not an accident, but the result of explicit unconstitutional government policies at the local, state, and federal levels. In Neither Wolf Nor Dog, we confronted the painful history of America's indigenous people while understanding the profound cultural differences in viewing the land. It taught us the value of patient listening, silence, and respecting worldviews outside of our own cultural assumptions. In the new Jim Crow, we learned how the United States criminal justice systems operates as a racial caste system. James taught us about the agency, resilience, and the hidden realities behind American history by reimagining the Mark Twain classic from the enslaved Jim's perspective. Entitled taught us how toxic entitlement, not just to sex, but to care, bodily autonomy, and power, perpetuates misogyny. In The Tyranny of Merit, we learned how the modern ideal meritocracy has fractured society by fostering toxic meritocratic hubris among successful elites while demeaning those without formal college education. The book revealed how believing we are entirely self-made leads to harsh ethic where winners feel entitled to their success and losers are unfairly blamed for their station in life, ultimately fueling political resentment and undermining the common good. Reading Half American, we learned about how over 1 million Black Americans championed the Double V campaign during World War II, fighting fascism abroad and systemic racism at home at the height of the Jim Crow era. The book revealed vital, often overlooked contributions of Black soldiers and activists and highlights the hypocrisy of being denied basic civil rights while defending democracy. In Stories or Weapons, we learned how military psychological operations and propaganda have evolved into modern domestic culture wars. Patriot is about the extraordinary resilience and unwavering democratic convictions of the late Russian opposition leader, Alexei Navalny. The book detailed his early life, his relentless anti-corruption campaigns, his miraculous survival of a 2020 nerve agent poisoning, and his harrowing smuggled prison diaries. Through his own words, we discovered a profound testament to courage, human decency, and the vital importance of standing up for individual freedom against authoritarianism, even at the ultimate cost. In The Fire Next Time, we learned how systemic racism distorts American society, creating a crisis that traps both blacks and white citizens. Baldwin's essays dissected the hypocrisy of organized religion and separatist movements like the Nation of Islam, ultimately arguing that genuine freedom and society survival require white Americans to confront their history and both groups to embrace radical, transformative love. Poverty by America argued that poverty persists in the wealthy United States because secure, affluent citizens actively benefit from the exploitation of low-wage workers and regressive tax breaks, and how we design systems to subsidize our own wealth while making the poor pay more for basic needs, urging everyone to become poverty abolitionists to dismantle these cycles. In Medgar and Marley, we learned how ordinary people created extraordinary change in the most dangerous Jim Crow environment in the country. The book details Medgar Evers' on-the-ground work investigating lynching and leading boycotts while highlighting Marley Evers' profound bravery, her evolution into an activist, and her decades-long quest to bring her husband's assassin to justice. Moral ambition challenges us to redirect our talents away from unfulfilling roles and towards solving humanity's most pressing problems. The Traitor's Circle is about the Solve Circle, a secret group of privileged German aristocrats and intellectuals who risked everything to defy Nazi regime by hiding Jews and plotting for a post-Hitler Germany. It revealed how individuals with wealth and safe social standing chose moral courage over safety while serving as a gripping historical reminder of the devastating consequences of internal betrayal in a state of tyranny. In The Broken Heart of America, historian Walter Johnson uses St. Louis history as a microcosm to reveal how intertwined forces of imperialism, white supremacy, and racial capitalism have driven the nation's history. Tracking this destructive legacy from Native American displacement and antebellum slavery through the 20th century redlining, corporate power, and the 2014 Ferguson uprising. And we just finished the book, Just Mercy. We learned how poverty, racial bias, and systemic corruption deeply flaw the American criminal justice system, particularly through the lens of death row inmate Walter McMillan's wrongful conviction. Ultimately, the book reveals that each of us is more than the worst thing we have ever done, emphasizing that compassion, hope, and mercy are essential to achieving true justice. Bryan Stevenson is my hero. Wow. So many parallels to what is happening in the world, in the nation today. History can be that teacher we need to help us reverse course and move forward. We've learned a lot in our book club, but I ask, so what? Learning alone or learning for the sake of learning is not enough. Learning ignites curiosity, ignites inspiration, ignites deeper dives into areas of interest to us, and most importantly, can, and I don't like to use this word, but should be the path to ignite action in areas we are especially passionate about or worried about. While in New York City last week attending the AEU's 111th Assembly, celebrating 150 years of ethical culture, Arthur Dobrin was awarded the Felix Adler Lifetime Achievement Award, the AEU's highest individual honor, recognizing those whose lifetime of service has significantly advanced ethical culture and ethical humanism. Dobrin wrote in one of his books, Spelling God with 2 O's, "Every good teacher is a good learner. Every good learner develops trust in the teacher. Since learning is a drawing out, not a pouring in, true learning occurs when your mind is open and when you believe that the teacher's aim is to benefit you. Learning is a relationship between student and teacher, student and subject matter. Learning therefore takes place in 2 directions, and each is influenced by the other. It is the foolish person who thinks there's nothing more to be learned or thinks he knows it all and nobody has anything to teach them. There is always more to be known, and nearly everyone we meet has something to teach us. To learn is to live, and to live is to be curious. Learning requires an interest, while disinterest in learning is to be indifferent to life itself. To learn is to create, to find out what is originally your own, to discover your talents and then develop them. It is to uncover what is unique about yourself and what you have in common with others." He finished with the story of a young girl, a 10-year-old girl, who went to visit a noted teacher. The girl demonstrated her considerable talents before the teacher and a group of guests. Everyone thought that she was exceptionally good, especially for someone so young. They said she had a promising career in front of her, all but one of the guests. That is, the dissenting guest said, "If one is too clever in childhood, she will be unlikely to make any great achievement when she grows up." The teacher quickly replied, "On that basis, it is clear that you were a very clever child yourself." I want to leave us all with a challenge to articulate your life's purpose or purposes and use learning to feed that purpose. Try to learn every day from different sources and from different people, both older and younger than yourself, and from people with different life experiences. Share what you've learned with people that might not just be there yet. Learn for personal growth and change, but also for community-wide mobilization. Use what you've learned to motivate you and others to action to work towards positive change. During the platform last Sunday at the New York Society for Ethical Culture, there was a part in their platform to honor ethical legacy and ancestors. Felix Adler said, "The dead are not dead if we have loved them truly, if in our own life we give them immortality. Let us arise and take up the work they have left unfinished." I'm proud that my 3rd chapter is dedicated to legacy, and I'm proud to know that when I die, my work will be unfinished, and those I've loved or learned from or taught will be there to arise and take up that unfinished work. Thank you.
Being short. Thank you so much, Clark. I love that challenge to take it up and find what is sparking curiosity for you and follow that into learning and action. The Ethical Society of St. Louis is sustained by members and friends who share their time, talents, and resources in service of something larger than themselves. Everything that happens here, from Sunday platforms and youth education to music and social action, is made possible by the people who invest in this community and its mission. If you've been visiting with us and are finding this community feels a little more like home each week, we invite you to explore membership. Membership is a meaningful commitment to support our shared mission and help shape the future of this community. If you'd like to learn more, stop by the visitor table downstairs after platform. Our volunteers and staff are happy to answer your questions. If you'd like to help support the mission of the Ethical Society today, you can scan the QR code on the screen to make a gift online. If you prefer to give in person, donation boxes are available at the welcome table in the foyer. Yes, you heard that right. Throughout the month of August, we're conducting a short pilot program. Instead of passing collection baskets during platform, we're inviting those who give in person to use the donation boxes in the foyer. As a community that values reason and evidence, we are approaching this issue thoughtfully. We are gathering, giving data, collecting your feedback, and evaluating the overall experience before deciding how to move forward. If you typically give in person, we hope you'll continue to do so by using the donation boxes. Your participation will help us make a thoughtful, informed decision. Thank you to all of you who give your time and talent or treasure for sustaining our mission and programs. And I have one announcement from the community. Save the date. Join us August 16th after platform for the now famous annual ice cream social. Complimentary ice cream and non-dairy frozen desserts will be served with warm conversation and heaps of goodwill. And new this year, look for an expanded selection of toppings. And now we are ready for our third musical selection, which is Red Clay by Freddie Hubbard. Y'all are excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Ethical Band, for sharing your musical talents with us this morning. Thank you, Lyra, for sharing your story. Thank you to Bob and Kathy Pickard for your many years of dedicated service. And thank you, Clark, for reminding us that learning is a lifelong practice that keeps us curious, challenges our assumptions, and opens us to new possibilities, and also for making my to-read list much longer. This morning has been a celebration of what makes this community special. Members shared their music, their stories, and their experiences, reminding us that every person here has something to teach and something to learn. As we continue through Members Speak Month, I hope you'll take the opportunity to get to know one another a little more deeply. If something Clark shared resonated with you today, introduce yourself after platform. Ask a question or simply say thank you. Community grows one conversation at a time. After platform, we invite everyone downstairs for coffee, conversation, and community, and you maybe should alliterate while you're down there. If you're visiting with us today, we'd love to meet you. Please stop by the visitor table downstairs to say hello, ask questions, and learn more about our community. May we leave today with open minds, curious spirits, and the confidence that there is always something new to discover in the world around us and in one another. Thank you for being here this morning. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.